The governor's race may be getting the headlines, but a big race is happening right here in Harris County. Devon Anderson and Kim Ogg are duking it out to be the next district attorney. Anderson is looking for her first full term in office after replacing her late husband who died last year. Ogg hopes to succeed her at the Justice Complex. Both offer similar platforms when it comes to reforming marijuana prosecutions and discovery laws for criminal defendants. So what sets the two apart for voters? We're previewing the race this morning ahead of our upcoming debate next Sunday, which you can catch right here at 7:30 in the morning. We want to hear from you now. You can weigh in on our Fox 26 Facebook page and on Twitter. Be sure to use the hashtag Fox26 for life. In our newsroom again, we have our legal analyst Chris Tritico, news analyst Mustafa Tamiz, and public policy analyst Jackie Valley. Good morning again, guys.
Good morning.
What do you think we'll see the biggest fireworks on next week when these two debate?
Well, let's back up a little bit. This is the race in Harris County. Of all the down ballot races, this is the one that is garnering the most attention. Both candidates working very, very hard to get their message out. And so you have seen some similarities, and they both have a plan to, in effect, decriminalize small amounts of marijuana. Texas legislature passed a law in the last session forcing district attorneys across the state to give the defense almost everything they have in a case so we don't have problems like Michael Morton spent 25 years in prison. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they feel, in my view, about how they're going to comply with that law, because it's an onerous law on them. But this is the race. Who's up? I'm going to stop. This is the race in Harris County.
Yeah, it's the race for a couple of reasons. And it's several weeks ago, not a lot of people pay attention to this, but Judge Emmett's opponent dropped out of the race. So therefore, Emmett does not have an opponent against him in the ballot. So this now, the DA's race, is for Harris County. It's the top of the ticket race. And so there's not a lot of money being spent by Judge Emmett. He always attracted a lot of Democrats and independent voters, and so he's not there in a competitive way. So Kim Ogg's chances of winning have gotten substantially better.
Losing Ed Emmett's opponent and pulling him out of campaigning, that really turned this race into something that people are paying attention to.
I'm just excited that you have two women at the top of the ballot for the top race in Harris County. I think that's great. As you mentioned, both women have very similar platforms. Their policy issues are very similar. And as we talked about in the governor's race, I think each woman is doing exactly what she should do. Kim is having her press conferences, and she's trying to dig at the incumbent, Devon Anderson. Devon Anderson is doing her job and ignoring those digs, and she is sending out her press releases just to remind us that she's doing her job very well. So this is going to be a very exciting debate that's coming up on our show, and I'm very happy to see these two competent women going at it.
Kim Ogg really can't run against Devon Anderson's record because she just got into office this year.
Well, since Chuck Rosenthal left and then Mike Andrews came in, Devon's husband, and now her, there hasn't been a whole lot of change in the overall administration. It's been in the hands of the same people for the most part, other than some chairs.
Well, Pat Likas was there for 4 years.
Yeah, and Pat Likas. It's kind of the Republican administration that's been passed on. You saw a sea change when Adrian Garcia got elected for sheriff in Harris County. So Harris County has always, really recently become competitive again, and Kim Ogg got a very good shot.
I want to talk about that coming back with the change in Harris County has voted Democrat the last 3 elections. So let's go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
All right, guys, maybe this is an indication that we definitely need this debate next week, because we just have this one tweet coming in from our good buddy Jimmy this morning, who says, Devon has the most adorable smile. Does that help any?
Of course it
Well,
does.
Jimmy, we're going to definitely help you decide next week, and we hope that you will tune in for our debate that starts at 7:30. But guys, what do you think are the major differences in the two candidates for voters? I mean, while they do have similar stances on marijuana, Kim Ogg, I know, wants to cite and release. She doesn't want to detain. She wants to make it like a traffic ticket, whereas Anderson says she actually would process the suspect if you're caught carrying a trace amount of marijuana.
Well, I don't think that their plans are really that dissimilar on the small amounts of marijuana. Neither one of them would result in a conviction at the end of the day, which is kind of where the whole country's going, and it's a big resource saver. It takes for an arrest, it takes the officer off of service for virtually the entire shift, and so that's what. But we only got a minute left. So what are the major issues?
Again, there's not really much of a difference in their policy and their policies and platform. The winner will be determined by which woman can get her base out, which woman can get her voters out. And the fact that the Democrat has dropped from the county judges race, I disagree with Mustafa. I think that puts Devon in a much better position because the Democrats are not coming to the polls for that person.
But real quick, what about the fact that Harris County has voted Democrat in the last 3 elections?
The fact that Harris County has voted Democrat in the last 3 elections, well then why would we have a Republican district attorney? They may vote Democrat in certain races, but like you stated, our district attorney has been Republican for the last maybe 3 to 4 cycles, and it will stay that way.
Mustafa?
I think she asked the right questions, like why would we have a Democratic DA, right? I mean, so that's why this race is very competitive. And I think Kim offers a different vision for Harris County. Her ability to kind of pull people together on this issue. There's a lot of changes that need to happen in the DA's office. If you look at the number of prosecutions against African Americans and others, the minority community and the people of color feel like they're not treated fairly, and that has to change.
All right, and that's what we're going to talk about next week. We're really excited about this this debate and having both candidates here next week for one full 30-minute block, Sally. It's going to be a really great and very informative debate.